check. Can you hear me?
Recording in progress.
All right.
What's
Can you
up,
hear me,
man?
bro?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right. All right. Just make sure that we're in frame, because I want to repurpose this later on. So I want to post it on YouTube. Uh, and I've been doing reels out of that. You're gonna see. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Um,
let me turn off my fan just so that's not distracting.
right.
I
So
should be in frame, bro. We're good. Good on my end.
what was that? What did
I'm
you say?
so we're good on my end when it comes to this frame. I'm outlining some notes, just going through what is SEO, why you want to use SEO, like just the basic
Yeah. So
intro stuff without going too deep into it. I'm keeping it like pretty basic.
yeah. So it's not gonna be presentation style.
Right.
Pretty much, I want to do more like a podcast and have more of a discussion, where you focus on the SEO, Demetrius on the Google ads, and then I focus on the Facebook ads and just like kind of tying it all together. So I'll just be asking you guys questions. The first one will probably be like an introduction, and then yeah, you can touch on like what SEO is, and then Demetrius will do the same. Um, but I want to kind of almost have a debate where Demetrius defends Google ads, you defend SEO, I defend Facebook ads, and then at the end we tie it all together and be like, okay, this is what the best strategies is for 2024. Because
Got it.
you do SEO, but you would probably say it's probably smart to do ads and SEO. Just like I would say it's smart to do both. But this is why maybe Google ads, Facebook ads might be better for you if you're this type of business. That's kind of like what I would want people to take away is just kind of understand what is better for them. Um, yeah. So we got
Sounds
from
good. I like that.
yeah. Let me send out a text reminder. I don't. So we're gonna go to members. We're going to select all the members.
Dude, it's crazy how much I know about this stuff. And literally a year ago, bro, I was struggling to understand what SEO was, man. I was kind of just, you know, taking what I knew and just going with it. I feel like I could create my own ebook now, bro.
Nice.
It's insane, dude.
I copy in my link.
I want to get as much light in here. Usually it's use the light from the window, but it's not that sunny outside. Hey, hey.
How you guys doing?
Hey, but all right, man. So, Demetrius, I'm gonna tell the same thing that I told Nestor. Just trying to make sure that we're in frame, because I want to repurpose this content later on. So you look pretty good. So the idea is to do more like a podcast discussion. I'll be guiding it. I'll be asking questions. You'll be defending Google ads. I'll be defending Facebook ads. Nestor will be defending SEO. And then I want to pivot after that to explain what the best strategies is going to be for 2024. Why should someone use Google Ads over the others? I'll explain my take, and that's will explain his take, and then at the end we're all going to kind of come together and just like, hey, you got to be doing all this stuff. You know, you got to put yourself out there, whatever your message will be. Let me send this SMS. All right, let's start letting people in.
Sounds good.
Joining. All right. Hey. We got Jonathan. Hey, Maria. Good to see you coming in today. Jonathan. Same Jonathan. Nice to meet you guys. Say hello if you can. Got Chad.
Demetrius, you got a haircut?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, or like a week and a half ago. I got one in Greece, so
Gotcha.
yeah.
Let's see if I can take away the waiting room. How's it going, guys? Good to see you all. We will get started pretty soon. Should be pretty fun. What up? How the hell do I disable the waiting room? Participants. Ask all to unmute. Oh, I can't take away the waiting room. Damn it.
I think you said it when you create the
When I create the meeting, yeah.
meeting, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. We got my whole awesome. We got some folks coming in, and we're gonna wait a couple minutes, guys, before we start. So we have a really cool discussion today. Definitely something I've been looking forward to. I'm a big proponent of advertising and marketing. And we're gonna cover all of it today. We're gonna talk about the big three, which is going to be Meta, aka Facebook ads, Google ads, which includes YouTube in there as well. And we're going to talk about SEO and how it all ties in. What are some strategies to look out for in 2024? So definitely a good workshop. We will have it recorded. It will be uploaded to the portal. Let me send the portal link for everyone. So it's you guys, any workshop, it will always be recorded. It might take me a couple days because the recording takes a while to kind of get through, and then I have to upload it and stuff. But all the workshops are in there. This is the portal. Let me send it here on the chat. Start thinking of some questions you might have when it comes to advertising, digital marketing, social media versus advertising, SEO. Our first question is going to be, well, the first thing we're going to do is kind of introduce ourselves. Then we're going to go into having each one of the speakers, including myself, explain what we each do. So like I'm pretty knowledgeable about Facebook ads. So I'll be talking about that. Demetrius is very knowledgeable about Google ads. And Nestor is super knowledgeable about SEO. Both of these guys have worked personally with me. Demetrius has run my Google ads in the past. I made money. It was profitable. And Nestor did my SEO for the website for the Young Sharks, and I ranked pretty high. Definitely for Young Sharks, I ranked pretty high. And for I believe Nestor, what is it like networking events and stuff like
In
that?
Orlando. In
Orlando.
Orlando, you're showing up on the first page for networking events in Orlando.
Nice. Yeah, the traffic on my website is pretty good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, what's that? So Nestor, what is this autopilot thing? Does it like take notes of the meetings?
Dude, that's something that I signed up for a free trial and I've never used it. So I just got to figure out how to disable it. But yeah, it's an AI it's an AI transcriber. So everything that we're talking about, it'll transcribe it.
Nice. Yeah, it joins the meetings even when you're not there. Because like every time I host anything like virtual, it tries to join the meeting. And then there's one who has it? Trishelle. I think Trishelle has one where it requests to record and everything. So like she
Really?
doesn't have to show up to the meetings. Um yeah, yeah. I have
That's pretty cool.
post any questions. Yeah, guys. So think of any questions that might be specific to your businesses. And yes, Chad, I know this does not apply to you, but you like learning about it. But everybody else that needs to generate leads for their business, if try to think of what are you struggling with when it comes to generating leads, advertising, putting the word out there. You can start posting questions in there so we can personalize some of the advice. If not, I'm pretty sure once we get started, you will get some pretty good ideas. So we're gonna wait just a couple more minutes because I have to be personally letting people in since this has the waiting room. But
You took my fun away. I was going to challenge the group to generate leads for me. Great.
yeah, I wouldn't even know. It would have to be like some kind of LinkedIn, but you still need to. So for people that don't know, Chad is in like his customers are Fortune 500 companies. So it's more of a relationship type business. He doesn't need to generate leads. He doesn't really need to advertise. Uh, but so Chad, what I guess you just like learning about stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm dabbling in other businesses right now, so like
Um,
I'm actually kind of doing what that meeting we went to the other day. I'm actually buying businesses right now, so
hmm, hmm.
Smart.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's like what's the quadrant that Kiyosaki has? I think it's like 4 steps, and the last part of the quadrant is when you become an investor.
yeah. Remember they were talking about Drip Bar? I sent them a thing already for franchising, so I think I'm going to do that next.
Hmm. Yeah, so for those of you guys that don't know about Drip Bar, they're like an IV, what do you call those? Like they do the health thing where they put the IV in your vein and it has like vitamins and stuff, right?
Those are big right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's one over by me in Lake Mary Heathrow.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, those that's a good business because their pricing is pretty good. And then like you just go to the house. If it's a house, I think Drip Bar is like an actual location, so people come and but there's like mobile ones. I used to have a client that did that. And she did pretty well. She was actually servicing like celebrities and stuff, which was pretty cool. Uh, but yeah, Nestor, that shouldn't be too hard to work with SEO, right?
Honestly, that's a pretty good niche. That's within like the med spa niche. So there's a lot of organic rankings of small businesses doing that. There's not that many like Yelp isn't really dominating those searches. And I believe that there aren't any like huge national brands that are dominating it. So whenever you search
Right.
that up, it's just local businesses showing up. So yeah, it's easy to rank. One of the easiest ones to rank on the first page.
Right. And med spas, we actually have someone in the group that has a med spa. I like that business. I know a couple owners that do pretty well.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. We definitely have a good group. Thank you all for, being here on a Saturday. It says a lot. We aim to provide some value. We got some questions coming in from Jensen Nets. Love it. So, all right, let's start with the introductions. We're gonna go ahead and let Demetrius kind of go first. So Demetrius, just take like a minute, 2 minutes, introduce yourself, and also explain what is Google Ads. And then we'll go ahead and do the same with Nestor. Then I'll do the same with myself. So Demetrius, if you can.
Sure. How you guys doing? My name is Demetrius. I've been a PPC, we also call it PPC, also known as pay-per-click, which is also known as Google Ads. I've been in business for 8 years, managed over 300 accounts. To date, I would say it's close to about 2 million in budget managed with an average ROI of 12. So it's been an interesting journey being in, first of all, being in business. I'm sure a lot of you are in different stages in your business. So that's really exciting. And whatever you guys are doing, just keep going. And yeah, I think Google Ads has been one of the things that have gotten the best results within my business and with my clients. And essentially, when you think of Google Ads, you know, everyone thinks of like those search ads that you see at the top when you search, I don't know, for something near me, for example, IV therapy near me. But Google actually has a larger network. You know, they have YouTube, there's Gmail, you have remarketing, display, those ads that kind of follow you all over the place. And then you have apps and everything. So Google is a very vast network that allows you to do many, many different types of marketing. But the ones that are mostly profitable are the ones that we call search campaigns, which is the text ads that come up on your search results, and also YouTube, which I'm sure everyone has their fair share of getting blasted by YouTube ads all the time. So, and funny enough, those are very profitable. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm excited to be on the call with you guys.
Nice. So Cody did have a question that should be pretty fast, Demetrius. As he asked, is the ROI over the 8 years or the ROI over 8 years was 12? I guess his question was the ROI that you said, go a little bit deeper into that.
Oh, yeah. So what I meant was the average return on investment for the accounts that I've managed come out to an average of 12 return on ad spend. Oh, no, sorry, return on investment. So $1 in, $12 out on average for all the accounts managed.
Damn, that's real good. But yeah. But you're really good with Google Ads. I've seen that. So I'm like I said, I'm really excited about this. So Nestor, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, talk a little bit about SEO, and we'll keep this show going.
Yeah, so it's a pleasure to be here. This is my first panel, so I'm very excited to try this out for the first time. My name is Nestor Santos. I am an SEO expert, and pretty much what I do is that I help local business owners generate qualified leads by helping them dominate Google search. I've been doing that for over a little bit of 3 years so far, and every single client that has come to me, I've been able to get them on the first page, whether it's ranking first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So it's something that I'm very passionate about. I see how it helps people. Definitely changes lives. It definitely helps these business owners get more qualified traffic coming in and new business that they would otherwise wouldn't have received because they weren't showing up and nobody knew about their brand. So I'm very passionate about helping people get the word out there and have that a sense of authority that you get whenever you show up on Google. Anytime you show up on Google, I mean, in my opinion, when I see a company on there, I think that they must be legit. They're doing something right because Google is recommending them to me. So that's the way that I see SEO, or at least the benefits of SEO. And yeah, I'm here to answer as many questions. I know a lot about the technical side of it. It's a lot to cover, but I'll try to condense as much of it as I can to help you guys out and give you some tips on how to do it yourself.
Awesome. Thank you. So let me go ahead and do my part, and then we're gonna dive into some of the questions. So obviously, most of you guys know me. I'm Carlos. I started Young Sharks, and I started. This is really what I envision is having a Zoom like this on a Saturday, adding some good value. So again, thank you guys. But before I started Young Sharks, and around the same time, I actually had a marketing agency. I had a couple clients. I delved into all kinds of stuff like websites, hosting. I even did my own hosting company once. and I did do a lot of Facebook ads as well. Now, the full disclaimer, I am not the best ad person. So if you were to hire an ad person and you were going to pick from this panel, I would go with Demetrius, because I am not, like, that's not what I do full time. However, I have been able to do my own ads. I did do it for some clients, and I just kind of learn along the way. And I'm also pretty knowledgeable about what to do once you do generate leads, because a lot of people, they dream about generating the leads, but it's not just that. That is actually, at this point, it's actually the easy part. The hard part is what comes after. It's the quality of the leads, closing the leads, the appointments, the strategy that comes after that is a lot more challenging, in my opinion. So that's my call to fame. I think at this point, I've spent well over 6 figures in Facebook ads in between myself and clients. Most of it is actually has been pretty simple strategies. Like I said, nothing crazy. I'm a big proponent of the creative and the offer. We'll go into that in a little while. So my next thing is going to be, and I do see a lot of the questions, but this might help answer some of the questions. So I want each one of us now to go in and defend their area of expertise. So I'm going to defend Facebook ads and explain why I believe it's the best one. Nestor's going to do the same. Demetrius is going to do the same. And then at the end, we're going to tie it all in. But my goal is that you guys understand what is the difference between all these ad platforms, and which one might be a better fit for you. So since I'm already talking, I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. And then we'll go with the advertising first, and then Nestor, you'll go last, since you're in SEO, and you can kind of tie it in. So for me, Facebook ads is one of my favorites, and there's a couple reasons why. Number one, it's actually a little bit easier to understand and get started than Google ads, in my opinion. I know Demetrius might disagree, but I find the whole platform to be a little bit easier to understand. I also love the fact that it's a visual platform. Now, that comes with its own tricks, because on Google, you might be able to just rank, you might be able to just advertise using words and be on the top of search, and there's no image needed. Where on Facebook, it's not just the words, it's also the image, the video, which that's what we call the creative. So that comes with pros and cons. The con is it can be a little bit more difficult, because you actually have to create creatives. You have to create images and videos to run ads with. But the positive side of it, and one of my favorite sides, is that it generates, in my opinion, a lot more brand awareness. So I never, ever, ever will you find me recommending to run brand awareness ads. That usually, all three of us here are pretty much what you would call direct response marketers. So that means that we are doing marketing to try to generate leads to make money. We're not here to let people just know about our brands. We want them to fill out a form. We want them to do something, not just know us. We're not Disney. We're not a big brand. So, but when you run Facebook ads, and by the way, when I say Facebook ads, that also means Google, Instagram, and it also means WhatsApp, Messenger. All of that is one suite. And when we say Google ads, that will be Google search, YouTube, and display ads, which Demetrius will explain. But yeah, an added benefit is that you generate a lot of visual brand awareness, because people are seeing your logo, they're seeing your face. Another great thing about Facebook ads is you will get some followers, not as much as you might think, but it does help, right? So like every single day, Young Sharks gets a couple followers, nowhere near what it should be compared to the amount of people that see the ads. I think at this point, I'm well past like 3 million impressions, but we've only gathered like 2,000 followers out of that. So I wouldn't, but it's an added benefit, like I said. So those are some of the reasons that, like I said, Facebook is my favorite. It tends to work well with e-commerce and service-based businesses. If you have a niche service, it tends to be a little bit easier. If you're in a competitive industry, it can be a little bit more challenging to generate quality leads, or to keep the cost down. But the last thing is, I did see someone say, do I think Facebook gets a little bit dated? I would disagree. So Facebook is actually what it's a Facebook and Instagram platform, and between both of those, you're talking about 3 billion people around the world. So I don't think any platform is dated. If there's people there, if there's engagement there, odds are you can promote, advertise, and have some kind of success. You know, you can promote on Netflix. Well, I don't think they do ads. Actually, they do now, but you can run like Hulu ads, you can run Disney Plus ads, and you might get some kind of a result because there's people there. If there's people watching and your message is good, you should be able to get some kind of results. Now, every platform is different, but I don't think it's dated at all. As a matter of fact, I think Facebook is kicking everybody else's butts because their AI is so powerful and it knows so much about their about the users that at this point, all you need to do to run Facebook ads is literally just start a campaign and have a broad ad set. You don't need to do any targeting. You don't need to do anything apart from creating the ad. Facebook will do all the heavy lifting and it will find your customers. It's crazy. But yeah, that's my thing. Demetrius, why don't you go into Google Ads?
Sure, man. So Google is a little bit different than Facebook. You would call Facebook a social media platform. So you have that whole aspect that you're fighting against in a way. With Google, though, the beauty about Google is the competitive edge is you're essentially putting your business in front of people who are actively searching for where you're placing your ad. So what we have is intent. We have intent-based targeting, and we can place our ads in front of people who are actively searching for whatever your business is. We can use the Ivy example again. We have the Ivy therapy local business. You know, we have about what 80,000, 100,000 average monthly searches in the US for Ivy therapy. Why not show your ad where people are actively searching for that? So what we have is an opportunity to not just compete with the social aspect, but you're just competing with why a potential customer should choose you over your competitors. And in a lot of cases, you don't even have competitors if it's a specific industry, if it's a niche product, or if it's in an area where other businesses are running PPC. So another thing is that you just have a lot more users. When people want to make a buying decision, 2 out of 3 people click on a PPC ad. So the statistics show that 67% of people, when they want to make a buying decision, they go to Google and they type in an intent-based keyword. And 2 out of 3 of those people, if they're ready to buy right now, they will click on an ad and make a decision right then and there. So what that shows you is that if people want to make a buying decision, they go to Google, as compared to the social aspect of Facebook, where yes, you can be targeted certain ads, but you're not on the platform to make a buying decision unless you're on Marketplace and some other, the other parts of the network. And then last but not least, I would say the biggest advantage that Google has, and this is more of a long-term strategy, is data. Data is the new game. If you have powerful, potent data, like Carlos mentioned, Facebook has AI integrated with their customers' data, with people, like they know their customers very well. Well, Google knows their customers, I would say, a lot better than Facebook, because they have access to so many different platforms. They have access to Gmail, they know your invoices, they know where you're spending your money, they have maps, they know where you travel, YouTube, the websites you go. So they have so much more data on the specific user. So it allows you to not every time that you spend money on Google, you're spending it on a click. That's why it's called pay-per-click. So you're not just showing your ad for impressions or just showing your ad to show up. You're showing your ad, but your ad can show up 100 times. If no one clicks, then you don't get charged a single cent. So you're paying essentially for data, potent data that You get more information on your customers, your customers' activity online, where are they coming from, who are these people, what's their demographics, and when it comes to data, Google knows what they're doing. And then eventually you can optimize your accounts to find more of those people over time. So typically that's why you would see a higher ROI when it comes to Google campaigns when compared to Facebook campaigns. But again, that's because you're working at the bottom of the funnel, also known as where people make the buying decision. So yeah, I mean, if you want to show up where people are already searching for you and you only pay for results, essentially, then yeah, Google's definitely the right path for you.
Right. Awesome. Awesome response. Yeah. So to kind of summarize for you guys, so with Facebook, you have to create demand, and that's the challenge. You have to create demand. With Google, you are basically trying to outcompete your competitor. You're trying to gather the demand is there. You're just trying to gather the customer. And now both come with their challenges, because if it was super easy, there would be a lot more walking millionaires around us. But I would say that's essentially one of the biggest differences is Google has the intent. With Facebook, you create the intent. And then we have Nestor.
Awesome. So SEO is essentially the other side of the token of PPC. It's on Google or any search engine, but let's just use Google for this example since it's the most widely used search engine in the market. So let's say with the IV example, you have an IV shop in Orlando, Florida, and you want it to show up on Google anytime that somebody types in IV treatment services in Orlando. Well, you want your website to show up. So how do you do that so it could show up organically? Well, you create content and you do some technical SEO optimization and some link building to get that specific landing page to show up on the first page of Google. So once you do that, obviously you'll start generating traffic. And the great thing about that, and I guess is one of the advantages that it has over PPC, is that once you're ranking on the first page, you no longer have to pay for those clicks anymore. You're ranking number one. People are going to go to you because you show up organically, and organic results also have an element of trust that a lot of people don't essentially attribute to PPC just because it's an ad. It's anytime we see an ad, we try to blow it off. We see it on TV all the time. We tune out. So that's just a psychological effect that it has on a large group of people. And SEO pretty much circumvents that. And so I would say the biggest benefit is that it's cost effective in the long term. Once you're ranking, and let's say you stop paying your SEO guy for whatever reason, you have every single page, your website is bringing in so much money that you're like, okay, well, I want to pause services. You're not going to go down in rankings. You're going to stay there for as long as your website is still answering the search intent of the person. And technically you are generating clicks for free versus with PPC, Facebook ads, you have to put a budget down every single month. If it's $2,000 every single month, you have to keep paying $2,000 to get those 1,000, 3,000 visitors to come into your website. If you stop ads altogether, your website goes back to zero traffic, zero leads, zero conversions. So that's the main argument that I would use anytime somebody asks me, so what's the difference between PPC and SEO? SEO is a long-term strategy. It doesn't happen overnight. That's where PPC beats us. It's like, hey, you could launch an ad, and in 30 days, you'll start getting leads. SEO takes 6 to 12 months for you to actually start ranking on the first page. Sometimes shorter, but I'm just going to be conservative, 6 to 12 months for you to rank on the first page, start generating traffic, and getting leads.
Yeah. And I'll play devil's advocate here for Nestor. So whether you are running It doesn't happen so, I would say, so much with Google ads, although Demetrius, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it definitely happens, and I know it from first experience with when you run social, Facebook ads. So let's say that I'm running ads on a $2,000 budget. So the average cost on Facebook is going to be around $20 per 1,000 eyeballs. So for your 2,000, you're gonna get something like 50,000, 100,000 people to look at your ad. So out of those people, some are going to take a direct action. That is the people that you're betting on, right? You're running your ads to bank on those people. However, there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to see the ad and then go to Google and search you up. So if you're someone who is spending money on Facebook ads or like social media ads, then SEO actually makes a lot of sense, because you will leave a lot of money on the table if you have someone that's trying to find you organically and can't find you. So that is where the importance of like a Google My Business ranking, for at least for your keywords, that's where also having a unique name might play to your benefit. Like if someone's searching for young sharks, before we did a lot of SEO, with Nesser, what Google will show you first was actually just actual sharks. Like it would mostly show pictures of sharks. If you search young sharks now on Google, they're still going to show sharks because we don't rank on Google Images, but every other page, like everything else in Google, when you search young sharks, is going to be us. It's our Eventbrite, our Instagram, our website, different pages of the website. So at least people that are looking for me, I get to catch them on. And that was a result of SEO. And that, has been paying off for a long time. I generate at least 5 to 10 leads every week organically, just from people that go through the website instead of the ad. And they might be coming from the ad, but like I said, they don't feel comfortable on the Facebook platform, and then they search you up. And sometimes, like I say, you create intent with social media ads. So I have another question to kind of build on this, and then we'll go into the questions that people have been asking. What was that? Demetrius, were you gonna say something?
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought I heard something. So my next question is going to be, what are the challenges that come with with Google Ads? What are the challenges that come with SEO? And who should do Google Ads or SEO, and who shouldn't? Or, who should wait and do it later? So that's gonna be my next question. So let's just keep the same order. Let's go with Demetrius.
Sure. So some of the challenges, do you mean challenges for the advertiser or for the I guess the platform?
For the customer, for the person, yeah, for the advertiser.
Gotcha. Okay, so I mean there's definitely a lot of things that need to be right for Google Ads to work. And if you're missing some pieces, then it can be an expensive venture for you. So first and foremost, I would say PPC is a lot more, it's a pay to play system, right? You need money to actually advertise. I would say more than you would need on Facebook or socials. And that's because you're just directly competing for the intent buys. So your cost per lead is going to be a little higher. The cost to acquire a customer is going to be higher, but their conversion rate will be a lot higher as well. It's not weird, or it's not like, I guess, out of the ordinary to see an account converting, 20, 30% of the time. But they're spending, thousands of dollars in ads, and they're getting an ROI on that. So it is justifiable, but you still would need, I would say, minimum of 1 to 3K per month. And I mean, I guess Facebook is kind of around that mark as well nowadays, because of the CPCs rising overall. But yeah, the first kind of disadvantage or struggle is just, you definitely need monetary investment, and you need it, and you also need to be patient. PPC is one of those things where you nurture over time. It's kind of like a lighter version of SEO. You still need a little bit of time. I would say 90 days to know if an account is viable, if it's going to be successful or not. And then after that, you just know if it's going to work or not. And then last but not least is more of a location-based thing. If you don't have search volume, if no one's actually searching for what you're selling, that's essentially what the whole system is. If there's no search volume in an area, you have like less than 100 average monthly searches, or if it's like a super, super niche thing, then, I mean, I'm not saying PPC won't work. It's just going to require a little bit more money to market to the middle and top of funnel keywords. So more people who are more interested in things that are related to your product, and then you still have to do some kind of, selling at that point. So I guess those would be the top three things. And I'm sorry, I forgot the second question. What was it?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna build on that. So that was an interesting response. Um, so you say it takes about 90 days for you to know whether an account will work or not. Definitely. So why do you say that?
So the thing is with PPC, you can do as much research as you want to, but when it comes to actually like advertising, you get access to different types of data. You get access to who are your direct competitors, not just I have, my neighbor is a competitor, 5 blocks down the road, there's another IV therapy shop. I'm talking about who's actually bidding on the same keywords as you in the Google network. So once you get that information, then you are essentially just competing with those. It might be 5 people, 10 people, it could be 100 people, depends on the location. Now the 90-day mark is the reason why it's 90 days is because there's a longer period of time because there's so much data. There's so much more data that the system needs more time to kind of like digest it in a way. So if you do make a change to the account, you would essentially wait 1 or 2 weeks and gather the data over a 2-week period to see if it's a viable strategy. You rarely look at accounts like by day to day. You always look at them at like a couple weeks or a month or 3-month, periods to get like more data into the number or into the, I guess, whatever thing you're looking at. And then that's why if you take 90 days into account, you will see have I gotten a good return on investment over the 90 days or not? And that's what I said. At 90 days, you should have gotten at least whatever return that you projected that you want to get. If you have not hit that target realistically, then it's probably not a good viable strategy, and vice versa. It could actually work a lot better than what you might project. So, but yeah, that's kind of like why the 90-day frame is.
Perfect. So while it's still fresh in everyone's mind, I want to draw some differences between Google Ads and Facebook ads. Now that, like I said, it is fresh. So, Google Ads, would you say that you need a landing page?
Yes.
Okay, so what happens if you're landing, and by landing page, guys, we're talking about a website or a page on your website or like a funnel, like a click funnels. But it's somewhere where the customer clicks on the ad and they go somewhere, they go to a website that has some kind of information or, next steps, right? So, Demetrius, what happens if the landing page is not good?
So if it's not good, then the hard worked cash that you just spent on that click goes away. So, half the battle is keeping the traffic that you get with the landing page that you have. So it's a very good point that you bring up, Carlos. Like everyone thinks of marketing as the traffic that you're sending, PPC, Facebook, Google SEO, all this stuff. But the website is just as important. You want to retain those customers and actually have them convert with whatever action it may be, their phone call or click. And again, Carlos, you mentioned like we're more direct response. So you're paying for these clicks. You want to get the most out of it, right? So working on that optimization of the landing page or the homepage of the website is just as important.
Right. So right here we have a slight difference between some of the strategies that you can employ with a Facebook, Instagram ads versus Google ads. And YouTube, you didn't touch upon it. I know they have kind of like the same feature, but so on Facebook, there's something called lead ads, which I am a huge proponent of for people that are starting out. And even if you're seasoned, you can have pretty good results when it comes to lead ads. And the reason why I say there's a difference here is because you can run an ad on Facebook that someone submits a form right within the Facebook platform. So that saves you the trouble of having to create a landing page, of having to improve your website. I'm also not a proponent of sending customers to your website directly. Because if you have a menu, there's places where people can click out. Most of us don't have a website that we've invested, some good money and thought process behind to make sure that it converts. So usually, even with Google Ads, I would say a majority of people probably do like funnels, right? Demetrius, what do you say?
Actually, it would be more would be just company websites, and they would just have dedicated pages because if you have like a local auto shop, you have
But like a landing page with a
they would
direct
have
offer.
mm,
Well, like
not
okay,
really.
so well, okay. If you're running the ad on Google and let's say that you're searching for someone's searching for uh chocolate cookies near me, for example. Bad example, but chocolate cookies. And they click on that and you take them to the website that is just about any kind of cookie, would you say that's a good idea?
Oh no, for sure.
Okay,
So
that's my point.
the
That's my point.
relevance for sure. No, yeah, no, you definitely need to send it to a page that's relevant to the search.
Right.
This is
Right.
search term. Yes.
Right. So usually, unless a lot of businesses that I've seen or worked with, they offer different services. And their website, especially the homepage, talks about all these different services and it doesn't go in depth on each one specifically. So at least with Facebook ads, you don't want to drive your traffic to a page like that. Also, like if you're doing e-commerce, like let's say you're running an ad to sell a perfume, you want to take the person to the product page where they can order that specific perfume. You don't want to take them to your store homepage. So that's one difference there, that you can actually run ads on Facebook without needing to invest into a landing page. So you can test out an idea, see if it'll generate leads, if you can get people, and then invest some serious money and time towards building the back end. Because yeah, you do want to have a website, you do want to have strong landing pages, great copies, great images. You want to be running ads on multiple platforms. That's the end goal. But all of us here have limited resources, as far as like, none of us here are American Express or something. So, we have limited money and limited time, limited people on our teams. So we have to be careful of how we employ those resources. So one more question. So what, in your experience, what are some, niches or types of businesses that do great with Google Ads? What are some businesses that you've seen that maybe don't do as great?
I mean, so anytime I wouldn't say any specific business because you'd be surprised. It's not always about industry. It's always about who is running the business. The sales processes behind them. Who are they answering the phone? Are they, do they have bookkeeping? So you'll be surprised. A lot of successful businesses have their ducks in a row. And a lot of non-successful businesses, if they try Google Ads, it's not just like a magic pill. But I mean, if you really want to get down to like specific industries, just industries that people are going to search for on Google. If you want any type of rental business, any e-commerce, restaurants, gyms, legal stuff, anyone's that's searching for anything that's near them. And also something that has at least a good margin or a good lifetime value. So the client that you will get will actually be profitable for you in the long term. So, I mean, yeah, painting, pressure washing, service-based businesses, decks, solar, roofing, all those are very, very profitable because again, there are those margins and there's actively people searching for those services all the time. And then I guess businesses that don't work, I mean, if they're very highly competitive and you don't have the budget, so, you know, you're in the lawyer niche, real estate, you know, doctors, med spas, actually, in certain areas, if they're very highly competitive, those are very tough if you do not have the budget to, you know, the 1 to 3K a month budget and potentially maybe a little bit more. But other than that, it really comes down to, again, having good business practices, knowing your target audience, and then having a good offer, and then just testing it for those 90 days and seeing if it's going to be profitable for you.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Nestor, let's go over to the SEO side. I forgot what was the original question. Oh, so Nestor, what are challenges that might come when implementing like an SEO strategy? Let's start there.
So challenges that might come from implementing an SEO strategy. So the main challenge, this is the main challenge that every SEO faces. It's Google core updates. And I believe they release these every quarter or so. So pretty much what they do is that they go in, they look at how the search engine is performing, and they pretty much just fix the algorithm. They modify their algorithm. Like, let's say for a certain keyword, I'm just gonna throw something random. Like, let's say, for example, the young sharks. Let's say that they notice, like, okay, well, there's a lot of people searching the young sharks, but the only thing that's showing up is a bunch of pictures of sharks. But there's a business out here called the Young Sharks. So Google tries to fix those algorithm mistakes and pretty much reorganize what's showing up on the first page. So a lot of times, like let's say you're ranking first, a core update comes around, next thing you know, you're not even showing up on the first page anymore, and all of your competitors are showing up before you. So at that point, it's like, okay, well, what do we have to do? Google doesn't tell you what you have to do. They kind of just leave you in the dark. They tell you what they did, but they don't tell you what to do to please them and get back on, let's say, the first page of Google. So now we have to go in and pretty much just see, okay, so what did they deem worthy? We do that reverse engineering, the first 10 results, and then trying to, one up their content. So that's the main challenge, I would say. It happens almost every 3 months. So that's why it's important to have an SEO expert by your side, because it's going to happen. It happens all the time. Second, we can build out a strategy basically through keyword research. So gathering all the keywords that your business could rank for. And I would say the challenge with that is search volume, kind of like how Demetrius said. You might have, a med spa in Ocala. Let's say nobody in Ocala is searching for med spas, but everybody in Orlando is. Well, it doesn't mean that that business model isn't successful. It's just that the area that you're in, there's not enough search volume. So even if you do rank on the first page, nobody's searching for you. So you're not going to get traffic, you're not going to get leads, and you're going to end up disappointed. So I would say search volume, and that largely depends on the area that the business is located in. And last but not least, because you did say building a strategy, I would say getting all the assets from the client. So for example, if the client doesn't have any social proof, such as testimonials, case studies, reviews, it's very hard to implement that on their website. You can fake it, but people can smell that. They'll know that it's a real review or it's a fake review. People are smart enough to go on Google, find your Google business profile, and if you don't have any reviews on there, they'll know you're faking it. And that's one of the major factors of getting conversions. You could get people to land on your page, but if you don't look credible or trustworthy, they're going to bounce and go to the next guy who has an entire section full of people raving about how great their service is and how great the people who work at that company are and how well they were treated. So I would say that's one of the major factors. And I believe that affects Google Ads as well. You could send
It
somebody to your
affects all,
landing
it
page.
affects everything. So
Yeah.
I'm a play devil's advocate here now for the photographers, the videographers, and the website builders out there. So all of us three up here, we know how to generate leads. We know how to generate traffic. The way we do it might be different, but we all have something in common, which is your brand needs to be somewhat credible. You need for SEO, you obviously need a website, and then like Demetrius was saying, for search ads, you also need to have some kind of a landing page. Now, for Facebook, you don't need so much, but trust me, in the long run, you can only get so far by faking it. So it's always smart to invest some kind of money or time into getting good images, good videos, and testimonials. That sort of stuff is make or break. For example, in the first year of Young Sharks, I invested about $15,000 in just plainly videos and photos. I was kind of getting that money from the ticket sales and investing it there, so I didn't make money, and a lot of it actually came out of pocket too. But 2 years later, like, I'm still using some of the same stuff that I created back then that was high quality. If you go to the website, the images are high quality. Whenever I create a new landing page, the images are high quality. So yeah, you want to build some kind of credibility. It's not just a get rich quick scheme. Even if you have 3 grand a month for the next 3 months and you're willing to blow 10K, doesn't mean you're going to be successful, because especially nowadays, like it is harder and harder because there's a lot of competition, and so many businesses that have been doing stuff traditionally are starting to move into the online space, and they have a lot of a much longer track record. So devil's advocate for photographers and videographers, it's always a good idea to have something, even at least a headshot, like at least a headshot. I see so many people without even a basic photo to just put on a website, or if you're going to speak at an event or something and you don't even have a professional photo. Like that sort of stuff is like basics that should be done. That's basics. So Nestor, what are some businesses that you've seen that do very well with SEO? Like, when is it a good idea to do SEO?
Well, it's a good idea if you have the patience for it, first and foremost, and if you have a sales process in the back end, because eventually the floodgates will open and you'll get leads coming in. And if you're not able to talk to them within literally the first 5 minutes, they're going to bounce and go to your competition. So you have to have a system of being able to nurture, pre-qualify these leads as soon as they submit their information or call up your phone number. Um, I would also say, can you repeat that question? I lost track, man.
When is it a good time? Like, when is it a good time to do SEO, and like what businesses have you seen tend to do well
A
with
good
it?
time. So yeah, so okay, so I explained the good time and the businesses that I've seen. Well, it would be the same answer as Demetrius, since we're both working with the same search engine. I would say local service-based businesses, construction businesses, remodelers. I've seen just anything that requires some type of service, a home service, an emergency type of service. You have real estate, you have lawyers. Anytime somebody falls at work, something happens, you look up a lawyer. You go on Google. Back in the days, you had yellow pages, but now the yellow pages is Google search. So I need a personal injury lawyer in Orlando. You're gonna type that in. You're gonna see the competition, and you're gonna just start talking to as many of them as you can until you find the one that's the right fit for you. So I would say service-based industries, lawyers, dentists, um, e-com as well. That's another one. E-com, even info products like courses, stuff like that. Like, let's say, Carlos, you put together a networking course tomorrow, and you want to sell that product. SEO will work for you as well. So pretty much any industry that has demand, like immediate demand of needing to solve a problem within the next 14 to 30 days.
Right. And here's another area where we draw a difference between running ads on a social media platform versus Google Ads and SEO. So actually, there's two differences. One difference is when it comes to search, whether you rank organically or you pay to rank, you are dependent on the search volume of that keyword. So if you have a niche product, if you have something like, let's say you invented a specific type of candle, if there's no one searching for that, then it might be worthless for you. And even if you try to rank for candle in general, you might not get the same result as someone who has a lot of volume for the very same exact thing that they're doing. Okay, for example, tying it to me, there's only a certain amount of people that are searching for like networking events every month in Orlando. Even if I have the budget and I run the ads, there's only a certain amount of scalability that will come from that. Because if let's say there's 1,000 people searching for networking events in Orlando, and let's say I outrank all of my competitors, there's only so much. I can build a business up to a certain size based on just the volume that comes from that keyword. Now, when you talk about social media, you're creating demand. So it's almost limitless. You are basically advertising to hundreds of thousands of people, and you're getting them to shit, I didn't need that product. You know what? That might be a cool thing. Next time they see it, they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy it. Like I just bought something off of an ad yesterday. It was like a low ticket offer kit, from someone that I know. I saw that and I'm like, you know what? I've been thinking of maybe coming up with some new offers, some low ticket stuff to see if I can run ads to get purchases. So I went ahead and bought it, $50. So I did it. So I wasn't searching for that. I wasn't on the market for low ticket kit, that was something that I saw and I'm like, you know what? I might need that. It's kind of like something I've been thinking about. Let me go check it out. Go to the landing page. I'm like, you know what? I can blow $30 on anything. This might be worth it. So I went ahead and purchased it. So that's one difference. Is you create demand with one, with the other, you're banking on the demand that's already out there. So let's move on to some of the questions. I believe, did I cover both of the differences? So yeah, it was the demand and the volume. It'll come to me later. Anyway, so all right, I'm gonna go to the top and I'm gonna try to go down chronologically with some of the questions that you guys have had. So let's start with Adam, who he said, he doesn't know a lot about ad campaigns, but he's got a good offer, good visuals, and marketing material. I love when I see that because there's a lot of potential. I love when I see business owners. I was just talking to someone in Jacksonville the other day, who's built a pretty successful business just off of word of mouth, referrals, just doing good, traditional business. And I'm like, you know what? If you've been successful that way and you have a good service, I can only imagine what would happen if you bring it online and you now amplify that, and you start bringing even more leads, more people. So I love when I see that, Adam. Let's look into it. So he says, I just have no idea how to take all of that and turn it into a paid campaign. So, all right, let me talk about the Facebook ad side on what I would do in a case like that, and then we'll go into the Google and the SEO. So if you're someone who's never ran an ads, like I said, I'm a big proponent in starting with Facebook. And my go-to strategy is I like to run lead ads. If you need leads, if you're not looking for sales, if you're looking for e-commerce, it's a completely different ball game because you have to drive the traffic somewhere and you want people to buy the product, unless it's a high ticket, like if it's a $500, $1,000 e-com product. But at that point, you're not even doing like real e-com. Like that's more. Anyway, if you have a service, you want to generate leads of people that are interested in your service. So what I would do, Adam, is I would get those material that you have, and the offer that you have, and try to create some kind of creatives. So some kind of a video, some kind of an image ad. Usually, in my experience, what has worked great for me is a natural iPhone video of whatever it is that my product is. So, like, let's say you're a carpenter. An ad for you might be grab your iPhone, put it somewhere where it can record you working on something, and film yourself doing the job. Like, show people what it is that your craft is. If you have I don't know, I think if I remember correctly, you have a mobile bar business, if I'm not confusing you. So a great ad for you would probably just be like a video showing the mobile bar and an event full of happy people. Just a video of that. That could be an ad for you. And then you can always also try to go into Canva, get some images, maybe even that video, add some headlines into it. Usually the headline should be about the offer. So like, I don't know, mobile bar for your next event, for example, could be something. And my strategy, like I said, is I like to do lead ads. I do what I call a 3-day test. So I set up the campaign. I try to have 10 different creatives. So I do something called dynamic creatives, which is where I give Facebook 10 images or videos, and they test out to see which one will work better. Like I said, they know everything. I don't. So I give them full freedom, test it out, see if Instagram stories or Facebook feed or Instagram reels, they test out all the placements, all the images, and they find what works. So lead ad, dynamic creatives, 10 creatives, and then 5 headlines on the captions when you're setting it up on the captions and stuff. That's my strategy. I run it for 3 days to see how many leads are generated. If no leads are generated, you have to look into why. That is where I believe someone else was asking about KPIs. I would say the biggest KPIs, at least when it comes to Facebook ads, is CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions. You want to look at the click-through rate. You want to look at the results, obviously. So if you're generating leads, what's the cost per lead? So those are some of the things to watch out for. But yeah, that's what I would do is grab that material, make some ads, set it up on Facebook. Obviously, there's a lot more that goes into it. We did a workshop on that last week, I believe. It's recorded, is on the portal. And I walk you guys through how to set up the Facebook ad campaign that I'm talking about. So Demetrius, for someone who, you know, they say they have a website, they have some good images, they have some stuff to start working with, some track record. How would they get started with Google Ads?
So it's a little tough to answer that, because again, PPC is very custom. It's a very custom build. Every single business has a different approach to it. So I guess the question you should be asking before you run or before you think of running PPC for your specific businesses, again, is there search volume? Or if there is no search volume I don't really know the specific business, if it's local, is it e-com? So it really, really depends on what the business is, what's the offer, are people searching for it? And is there a return on, the paid advertising that you're going to do? And a good tool for that is the Google Research Planner. It's within the Google Ads account, which you can just log in. It's under the tools and the settings, and you can just go in there and see, just some general information of what are people searching for in your area. And then, yeah, just kind of put yourself in the shoes of your customer. What would they do? Would they go to Google and search for something that, you're offering, or would they not? So, yeah, it really depends on the business. Is it profitable? Is it local? Is it online? Is it very competitive? So So yeah, just asking those questions before I think should be a good starting point.
Right, right. So Nestor, how should someone get started with SEO? Say they already have a website. How can they maybe improve the website, or what should they be doing to start ranking better?
Well, the only way to find out is by doing a quick audit of their website, seeing what's on their site. So a lot of times, in my experience, I've come across business owners who have a website, but they're just sitting there. They're not doing anything. They're not receiving traffic, and that's because it's not optimized. So it's one thing to have a website. It's like having a Ferrari parked in your driveway, and then there's another thing to have a motor and all the pieces inside a Ferrari to get you to where you want to go versus just having it sit there. So that's the analogy that I use. So like let's say somebody comes to me, they have let's just keep using the IV example. They have an IV shop, but nobody knows that it exists. The website is up, but nobody knows that it exists because it's not optimized. You don't have the proper structure. You haven't researched the keywords that people are searching, and you haven't built landing pages, service pages, location pages, blog posts around those keywords that people are searching. You haven't built pages around those keywords that people are searching. So that would be the first thing. You have to look at your website and see, am I even getting leads? That's the number one thing. If you're not getting people calling you or submitting a form on your website and it's been running for 5 years, then you have to ask yourself, why is that? You either have to run ads, or it's because your website is not ranking organically and we need to, do some work to it to get it there.
Right, 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 right. And a lot of people probably have a website without a form for people to fill out. So I would say that's definitely step one in a lot of these cases is just look at your lead process. How are you doing things? Where do you get your customers? Where are they coming from? How are you handling it? All right, how can you make improvements there, with what you already know and have? And then, okay, let's talk about digital. Let's start with the website. A simple website you're going to need. Just get it done. You can just at least go on Fiverr and get someone to just do a simple website, or just do one yourself, drag and drop, but have some kind of a lead flow. Like if someone submits the form, what happens with that? How do you hear about it? When do you call them? And then you start building on it, and one thing will probably start leading to the other. I just posted a link to a book. At least when it comes to social media marketing, the most make or break thing is going to be the offer. And what we say the offer is what it is that you are promoting. It's not just about service-based business or window cleaning. That's not just that's not an offer. You can get leads like that, because a lot of the times some businesses are local, right? So you can advertise window cleaning locally and get some leads, but you might get a better result, especially if you're trying to if you operate in multiple cities or in multiple states. It gets a little bit more challenging if you want to generate leads that are not local like that. You want to run campaigns across a wider area. The offer is very important, and it's what are you actually promoting. So instead of saying window cleaning, an offer could be don't pay unless you're satisfied with our window cleaning, or some offers like some kind of a guarantee, or we'll come, do the estimate, do the job, won't charge you a penny until you leave us a 5-star review. That's an offer. Someone that sees that that speaks about the company versus just plain window cleaning. So that's important. For example, my offer, the Young Sharks offer, is networking group for young professionals. That in itself is an offer because it's already saying for who it is. It's not the same as if I just advertise out there and I'm like, networking group. Now, it might not work. If I have a beautiful image and it just says networking group, oh, okay. But if it says networking group for young professionals, and then my copy says we help, I believe it's like, we help young professionals make new friends, what was it? Make connections, make new friends, and bottom line, make more money. And then we explain how we do that. So that is an offer. That's an offer. So let's continue with the questions. So ChanceNet asked how to target the proper audience, use of tag selections. I'm not sure what you mean with tag selections, but let's talk about targeting. So Nestor, since I already have you on the frame, how would you target someone? Like let's say I'm a what was a good example? Let's say I am a hairstyling salon and I'm trying to target curly haired women, for example, on a specific page of my website. You know, how would you target? How do you target certain people with SEO? Is the question.
Awesome. So it's very simple. And it comes back to what I said earlier with keyword research. You would have to search that up, see if people are in your area searching for curly hair treatments in Orlando. And let's say that keyword is receiving, let's just say 100 searches per month. Well, now you know there's 100 people every single month searching for curly hair treatments in Orlando. The next step, the SEO step, is to create a service page around that. So you would grab that keyword, put it on the actual page on the H1. This is a little technical, but let's just say the first thing that people should see is it's what it is that you do. So technically your offer. So curly hair treatments in Orlando by the #1 hair salon in the county, something like that. And then you start writing content out. You create a whole landing page with content explaining your service, explaining how to get the service. So step 1, call us. Step 2, you'll hear from me, Linda, the hairstylist. And step 3, walk out with your brand new set of hair, your brand new style, whatever it is. So that's the first step. It's figuring out, are people searching for it, and writing a piece of content around it that's going to rank and show up when the next 100 people are searching that up in your area. That's how the SEO play will go about.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, going back to the offer, guys, like I said, that book that I just posted is a life-changing book. If you can understand how to market your business and make people want it, you'll never go hungry. You'll never have a problem when it comes to generating leads. I was just thinking about Cody's his business, and I think I have a good idea of what a good offer might be in a business like that. So you guys understand what an offer is. So Cody says that his business is emergencies, like emergency based. So like let's say you're a plumber. I don't know, your exact business. I think it's water restoration, Cody. But let's say you have a plumber and I'm someone whose house is like I don't know, there's a pipe that burst and my house is getting full of water and it's an emergency. So I go on Google, or let's say for some reason I happen to be on Instagram while waiting for someone to call me back and I see a plumber ad and it says something like, we'll be in your house within 10 minutes. That is an offer. That's an offer, because if you're someone who needs a plumber and you're telling me, get a plumber in your house in the next 20 minutes, satisfaction guaranteed. Now, it's not just running an ad and saying, hey, I'm a plumber. No, you're saying you can have a plumber in the next 20 minutes in your house and the satisfaction is guaranteed. That's an offer. Obviously that might not be something possible, but you can maybe do something like AAA definitely can get someone over to wherever you are within like an hour, 2 hours. If you're someone who needs something and your ad says that, like if someone goes on Google and they're like, plumber near me, and the first ad at the top says get a plumber to your house in the next hour, you might be more likely to click and buy from someone like that versus one that does not come with that guarantee. So that's an offer. That's I think a decent example of an offer. Now, talking about targeting. So Demetrius, how does targeting play a role in Google Ads?
So because Google has so many different platforms, you have access to a lot of different types of targeting. So the main types of targeting, of course, is the search intent. So let's use the example for the plumber. If someone goes to Google, if they have an emergency and I don't know, their pipes literally just spewing out into their house, they're like, they just got home, they're like, what am I gonna do? Right? Like, what am I gonna do? Well, I need an emergency plumber. So they go to Google, they look up emergency plumber, and they see an ad at the top. First position, it says 24/7 emergency plumbing repair. Pay after repair, like it never even happened. And they click on that and they just get on the phone instantly with someone. That is one way you can target someone who isn't actually searching for what they need right then and there. And then you have different types of targeting, such as display, which is the ads that you see all over the place. It's actually very similar to Facebook targeting, where you have interests. You also have something called affinities, which is more of a wider net of people, but you also have in market segments. So let's say the example for the hair salon, you can target display ads for say in a physical location, say 10-mile radius around your business, of people who are in market for high-end hair salons. And that's another way you can target, which is a specific audience that's kind of preset from Google. It's very similar to the Facebook. And then you have some custom audiences, which is where the secret strategies happen, which is you can literally target people based on the specific websites they've been to. So say you have, you can gather all of the hair salons in your 10-mile radius and have that as a custom audience. Now you can target essentially every single person that's been on your competitors' websites. You can do that based on what they've purchased, the apps that they've downloaded. And then you have more custom segments based on what we call like long tail keywords, where rather than say someone typing in emergency plumber, they could do, I need a plumber for my hot water cylinder, my hot water cylinder is not working. I need a plumber, something that's more specific. So, and then it comes down to the offers, it has to match with what you're targeting. But when it comes to targeting, I think you have a lot of different options depending on the strategy and what your business is and the offer. You just decide which one is going to get the right eyeballs on the ad.
Awesome. Yeah. To wrap up, guys, on the targeting side of things, I think these platforms have gotten so smart nowadays. Also, you can always hire someone and they'll be able to guide you through the process, versus whether you actually have to learn these things if you're going to be doing it yourself. But when it comes to targeting, at least with Facebook ads, it's gotten so powerful nowadays that it's not as big of a deal as it used to be back in the day. If you've ever looked up digital marketing or whatever on YouTube, a lot of the videos that you're seeing, you're going to see the guys talk about, oh, target the right people, target the right people, target the right people. That is pre-AI era. In the AI era, these platforms know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, and they are getting better and better by the day. And I say that not that targeting is not important, but targeting nowadays is done, at least on Facebook ads, it's done through the actual ad itself, not so much on the technical side, letting Facebook know, hey, target people from this age or this gender. If you have a product or service that you know for a fact is female only, then yeah, it makes no sense for you to target, have the male option also checked in. But if you don't know who your target is, or it could be anyone, you can at this point leave it broad. And these platforms will figure out who that customer is, so long as your ad itself is targeted. That is what needs to be really targeted. So something I really like doing is on the copy, I like to put, for example, Florida young professionals. Orlando Young Professionals, Tampa Young Professionals, or I don't know, let's say you're looking for business owners, Tampa business owners, Orlando business owners, Florida business owners. That is targeting in itself, because someone who's not a business owner is not going to interact with that ad because it's not for them. So Facebook or the platform will learn from those behaviors. They'll see, okay, when we showed this ad to someone who's not a business owner, they didn't like it. When we showed it to a business owner, they did like it. So they know, and at this point, they will read whatever you put into the ad. They will analyze your video and already know who to show it to. They're not going to show it to someone who is not targeted at this point. At least you're not going to spend like $15 on a campaign just on people that you shouldn't have really targeted. Like they'll figure it out after a couple bucks, like who is likely to interact. Now, getting them to convert is a different story. But to get started, targeting is not that important. When you do have volume of leads and then you are more worried about quality, which is actually my problem, targeting is even more important, and it gets even harder because even just targeting people with the actual platform is not enough. And for example, if I say Florida business owner, okay, you can have a broke business owner within that, and you can have someone who has a $100 million business within that. So who is my customer? If I am trying to attract the $100 million enterprise business owner, my wording, the way I carry out my ad needs to speak to that person. And that is more of an art. It's a lot harder. So that's kind of like some of my thoughts when it comes to targeting. Is your ad should carry most of the weight. Most of the success is going to be number one, the offer, and then number two, the actual ad. If you have a great offer but the video is blurry, you're probably not going to get results. If you have a great offer and your ad is decent, you will probably get results just a little bit higher. If your ad is great and your offer is great, you will probably kill it and get good return, in my opinion. Let's move on with some of the questions. What are the costs associated with each advertising channel, and what ROI can we expect from them? Demetrius, what's the average cost per click on Google or cost per impression?
That's widely depends on your specific industry. If you're targeting, if you are selling pants or clothes, you could spend 50 cents a click, $1 a click. But if you're a personal injury or say a marketing agency, I've seen upwards to $1,000 a click. So it really depends on the business and the industry, and actually really depends on what your competitors are willing to spend per click. So you typically find when there are high ROI industries, you typically find a higher CPC, but that doesn't mean that there's a ton of industries that have great, like for example, a good one is jet rentals. You would never think of a jet rental, but there's 1,000, 2,000 people searching for that every single month. Jet charters, their cost per click's $1, $2, but those tickets go for what, 15, 20 grand and more. So the average really just depends on your local area. And I just do a quick keyword research tool, or the keyword planner. I just do a quick research and I see what the average cost per click is from the past data. So, and the expected ROI, well, as much as you can get. You at least want to be breaking even. But at least, making 5, 10x return on investment is definitely a good
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. That's where also the sales process comes into play, guys. Let's say you pay $1,000 for one click, and let's say that click were to convert and you made $1,000, and you're like, oh damn it, I didn't make any money. Well, did you really not make any money? What if that customer buys again? What if you can offer that customer something where now instead of spending $1,000, they maybe spend $2,000. Now you just made $1,000. So that is how this game works. It's a lot of upsells, a lot of stuff that has to come after. You know, you want to obviously you want to make money on the front end. You want to make money when you are acquiring customers. So basically what that means is you want to charge more than how much you spent to get that customer to actually pay. So you want to make money. But a lot of the times you actually will break even, if not actually lose money. So for example, on a subscription business, I most of the time lose money when someone signs up. I pay anywhere from $80 to $150 for someone to sign up for the subscription. So usually if it's a monthly membership, I will lose money on that transaction. But then on month number 2, month number 3, if they renew, I start to make money. And if they end up, let's say, buying something else down the road, that is how I also make some money. So the sales process is important. Obviously, we're not covering that today, but what comes after someone clicks and someone submits a form, someone becomes a lead, is very important. Let's see, are there emerging platforms or trends we should consider? Nestor, why don't we go into SEO? So SEO has been around for a while. You know, I would say I'm sure it changes a lot, but I don't know if it changes as fast as like advertising. You know, like when you're paying, you know, and like there's just always new customers, new people, new strategies, new things coming out. But what is something new coming out of SEO, or like where do you see it going?
Well, I think that SEO and even paid advertising has grown rapidly since 2020, since the pandemic. You know, we saw an influx of people going online and businesses going online. So, you know, these search engines, these social media platforms, they had to adapt to that and improve their platforms for this type of influx. So I would say SEO changes rapidly, and I believe it's in its maturity stage at this point. I don't think there's anything else that can grow out of it. Right now, you see Bard, and you have, you know, like these AI, this AI that pretty much just answers questions for the searcher on the on Google itself. So we have that, but that's mostly a top funnel. It's mostly to answer top funnel requests or search intent. So, like for example, how long does it take for my hair to grow to 10 inches or whatever to my back? Well, the AI could answer that for you. Now it does that by collecting all the data that exists on Google. So it's just pretty much just looking up the best data around the web and spitting it back at you. Um, so for SEO, I would say that's really the biggest development at this moment. It's just the integration of AI and how it's going to help people with their searches. So far, it doesn't seem to really work for like local bottom funnel keywords, but it does work for top funnel information seeking types of searches.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to challenge all three of us, because like what if someone what like right now ChatGPT is not good because it doesn't have the modern day data, like up to date data. But like what's gonna happen the day that someone like their pipes leak at the house and they go on ChatGPT, yo, what is a good plumber near me? Like what's gonna happen when that happens? Like how is advertising, you know, going to play a role in that? Like how are they going to be? Because I've used it to compare, like for example, softwares. Hey, what software do you recommend if I need a tool that does X, Y, and Z from this list? Or sometimes
Yeah.
even you can just ask them the question and it'll tell you a software like, hey, you know, you should look into this one. So it's interesting to see where SEO and even ads are going to go. where now people are going to be getting a lot of advice and stuff from AI.
Yeah, it'll give you advice, but you still have to have that information on the internet. So, for example, if your website is on the internet, but it isn't optimized for SEO, Google won't be able to read what your website is about. And if Google can't read it, that means that whatever AI that's sourcing their information from the search engine won't be able to pick up your business. So there's still going to be a need for somebody to set up the SEO and make sure that you're being picked up by Google and the AI can pick up whatever's on Google. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
yeah. I mean, we're still definitely time away because I saw myself using ChatGPT to search a lot, but I still use Google a lot too. Because I'll use it to double check some of the stuff it says, or to look at something that maybe it didn't offer. It's interesting. There's a question here for Demetrius, and it's more technical. So it's from Lasim. He's in car insurance, and I know he runs Google Ads. He has a website. He generates a lot of people to like submit a form requesting like a quote. But Demetrius, he's asking, what are your thoughts on smart campaigns versus search? I prefer search because more control over campaign. I am in car insurance and do search campaign. Just curious if you think I am utilizing the best campaign method. So I guess it's smart campaign versus search campaign.
So, um, no, I do not recommend smart campaigns. They are the equivalent of boosting your post on your Facebook. So you can, if you've done that before, then you've probably gotten the same results. Now, more of a technical reason why you shouldn't be using smart campaigns. It pretty much just runs a more expensive branded search campaign, which essentially is running paid traffic for people searching for your business name. So you can bid on your own keyword. You can pretty much bid on any keyword. So the smart campaign just makes that as a more expensive method with less customizability, less options. As you like you said, you prefer search and highly prefer search. I mean, for car insurance, essentially, yeah, you just swap your bidding strategy to manual CPC. I always highly recommend manual CPC first. And whatever the cost per clicks are, I'm sure car insurance isn't too expensive, maybe like $3.50, $4. And you would essentially get a lot better results. And just searching for just car insurance, you don't want to put too many keywords. A lot of people put like 10, 15, 20, sometimes hundreds of keywords. Just put like one or two highly relevant keywords, car insurance, or for whatever, if you have something that's specializing in car insurance for like, trucks or, motorcycles, like obviously put motorcycle insurance, stuff like that. But yeah, I think the smart campaign is there for, it's like a boosting post. It's just there for just to quickly put stuff up and for Google to make a little bit more money. So yeah,
Right.
immediately.
So I'm gonna say something. Um, on the boosted post, I guys don't, that's a waste of money. So pretty much the reason why is when you boost a post on Facebook or Instagram, you're basically just putting money behind awareness or engagement. So it looks like you're getting some stuff, like you get some likes and stuff like that, but it's not going to give you any results. When you want to run ads and actually put some money behind it, you want to be on the ads manager, and you want to create a campaign, and actually set it up. It's not as easy as boosting a post, but like I said, nowadays, it's pretty simple. At least to do the lead ads, it's pretty simple. And I'll say that's actually something different, Demetrius. Like smart campaigns is kind of like what Facebook wants to do with broad, like, hey, just set up a campaign, broad audience, choose an image, and they basically do most of the work. Like that's the same idea behind smart campaigns, right?
I mean, it's the thing that they're pushing. Like if you create a new campaign, it's during the setup wizard thing, it literally tells you, put in your address, put in your website, stuff like that, and it just starts like spending money. But it gives you like no control over the targeting, no control over, even if you put keywords, it doesn't really target those keywords. And it doesn't even give you any data on where your money is being spent. So
Yeah.
I just highly suggest if you ever create a Google Ads campaign, should be a little hyperlink that says, no, skip this setup or do expert mode to kind of just get over that, because it literally kind of forces you to do a smart campaign, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a no-go.
Yeah. Yeah. In the meanwhile, on Facebook, their stuff is actually pretty good. Like their guided process, like the way they've dumbed it down, it actually works pretty well. Like I get good results on running pretty easy to set up campaigns, like just broad, like just no targeting. It's just the ads. And if I want to control the amount of leads that I'm getting or the quality, I just play around with the form. So let's say I am getting a lot of leads of people that are money conscious. I actually have a question in there that says, our plans start at this price. Well, does that fit your budget if you find the value? Now, that obviously generates less leads, a little bit higher quality though, which is what I want. But if I was just plainly starting out and I didn't have as much data as I do today, where Facebook knows exactly who is a Young Sharks potential customer, I wouldn't have that question, because at the beginning, I always want to just run ads to get as much data and to teach the platform on who is the right avatar. But yeah, that's an interesting thing. Let me see if there's any other questions that might be practical. Do you guys have any thoughts on something that maybe we didn't touch upon, or something that you want to get across?
I like this question. What are niches that are better in social media than PPC and vice versa?
Hmm. Um,
I mean, I have a couple ones I could throw out. I guess in e-commerce, there's definitely like, you know, the whole TikTok viral video type products, the drop ship type products, like those would not work on Google at all. Like the low ticket stuff like that. If you get like a video viral on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, then I mean, you can make, and I'm sure you see them, like there's all other types of products like Manscaped, and there's like these soap products and these beauty products, the before and after pictures and a lot of UGC content. Stuff like that works a lot better on social media because, again, it has that social proof. And a lot of people are like commenting and like, oh, I love this product. So you get that motivation behind other consumers. On Google, it doesn't really work like that. But in vice versa, if you have like a higher ticket item on Google, it works a lot better, like furniture or, just car parts, you know, just cutting boards, stuff that there's a higher return, good margins, and just consistent search volume over time.
right.
That's
Right.
kind of like my go-to for that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen uh I've seen Facebook do very well obviously on e-commerce. I'm not super experienced on it. I did have a client at one point. It was actually push-up bras that I was selling. And we did what, like $30,000 in sales worth of push-up bras. But she has really great testimonials, really great website, UGC content, so user generated content. But service based businesses work pretty well on Facebook. um you know I think I think anything can work on Facebook, as long as the ad is good and the offer is good. That is the make or break thing. Now, nowadays, for anything low margins, I think is going to struggle with either platform, right, Demetrius?
I mean, yeah, if you don't have good return,
Yeah, like if you have a
you're going to be in the
$50
red for a
product
long time.
and it costs you $10, like there's not a whole lot of room to be able to spend money to acquire a customer. So unless you have really great sales process and upsells, it's going to be nearly impossible to be profitable.
I mean, but even then, I think, sometimes if you are like, I mean, this is a very specific situation, but like if you're like a manufacturer for electrical equipment, if you're selling them wholesale, there may be like 20 cents a piece or something, your PPC ads might not be profitable, but it might nurture a relationship where over 10 years, you continue to do business with the same person. So, just PPC again, I guess the main differences are, yeah, there needs to be a return, but you're really thinking about it in long term, the lifetime value. And I'm sure Facebook again is the same. But again, it depends on the business. If it has good margins, you have a good sales process. Again, it's the system works. The system works. It just depends on the offer, who's running the behind the scenes with the sales process and the systems. If that's on point, then the paid advertising will accelerate that. It's essentially just going to scale it to essentially how much you're investing into it. So yeah.
Awesome. Any thoughts, Nestor? Anything you might want to add?
I mean, I've learned a lot from you guys, having our conversations off Zoom and here actually. I've learned a lot about PPC, and obviously I work a lot with Demetrius, so we talk about almost everything and anything. We definitely like I've learned so much from this guy when it comes to PPC, and I can see it's helped me better my service just because I see how PPC and SEO can coexist and deliver a better service to business owners. I wouldn't have anything really to share. I would just say, think about your website. Are you, you're spending money to keep the website online. You're paying hosting every single month, and you're not seeing a return on that investment. You should probably think about it and be like, hey, okay, well, could I be generating leads with this website, or is it just going to be sitting there so somebody can look at it whenever you're talking to them in person and not do anything, which is good. It helps you with credibility in that type of setting. But what if you had a machine that's generating leads for you when you're on vacation, when you're sleeping, when you're with your family, somebody's looking for your service, they type it in on Google, they find you, they submit a form. Next thing you know, you have an email or a text message on your phone telling you have a new lead, and this guy wants, I don't know, let's say their bathroom remodeled by within the next 30 days.
Right.
If you're a remodeler, you just made maybe 10 upwards to like 50K, depending on what the project is, off of you just showing up on Google. To me, it's a no-brainer to have that traffic coming in every single month. So I would say, look at what your website is doing and how can you improve, the website.
Nice. All right, guys. I think we can wrap up at this point. I think we covered some pretty good ground. Thank you all so much. I definitely think people at this point already need to go to the birthday parties and all that stuff. But we went at it for almost two straight hours. So it was an interesting conversation. I think we gotta do it again, and then maybe next time build on this and actually talk about how someone might implement all three, or like just like more, I don't know, I guess like strategies, like practical strategies or something.
You know what
uh
we should do?
what
If you don't mind me sharing, I think that we should just find people within the young sharks. Like we could do like maybe like an audit of like, let's say somebody in home services, somebody in real estate, and somebody in the medical field, for example. And then just tell them like, hey, we want to run an audit for you guys, and then just have as many people who are also within those industries join, so we could show all of them like, hey, look, this is one of the young sharks. This is what they're doing. This is what we found. This is what you could do. These are the results that they can get. And
That's
if
a
they
good
can
idea. Yeah, like a life example, like an actual
yeah,
life example instead of like a
Yeah.
talk.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thomas, I believe you are in the marketing space too, right?
He asked a good question about managing a 10K.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, but I think he was asking agency related questions. So, yeah, I think we all gotta connect. Because I think he's in Orlando. He might be out of the computer right now.
This is between handling a 10K month agency versus 100K a month agency.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I
Oh,
wasn't able to.
you
I
need
wasn't
more
able.
people.
I wasn't able to scale my agency to 50K, so I wouldn't even be able to answer that question. I think the most I ever did was 25K in 1 month.
Cody, you did ask a question. I do remember, and I quickly looked up your website. Is that a franchise or is that your own company? Not sure if you're there.
That's a franchise, not my own company. That is a franchise.
Okay, okay. All right. So, do you have anybody working on that? Like, does the franchise provide a marketing team for your, let's say, paid advertising, search engine optimization? Because I see it's just one location. It's just
They
Brandon.
they they do it for a national, they don't do it locally. So anything for my direct business, locally, it would have to be me. So anything revolving my SEOs, my pay to click, my Facebook, they set it all up because it is a franchise, so they want it a certain way. And I have to have approvals, before I do certain things like to the pages or anything else. But for the most part, it is mine, and I can do everything that I want to it. It's just that it does have approval process to go through if I want to change certain things because they want it to look uniform.
Yeah.
From one franchise to another, they don't want one franchise having this, crazy looking site, and then another one's like barely plain. So um, again, everything is going to be like I started back about 6, 7 months ago. I started researching SEOs and paid to click. I was doing it all myself, but it was a little bit out of my realm of expertise. So I decided to go and try to get on Fiverr and try to meet with some experts that build SEOs and things like that. But I never really, set up a meeting or anything. I never really found anyone that I was like, okay, I'll pay to, meet with you, and then possibly get nothing out of it. So it was just more so for me. I'm trying to learn this and see because, it's great to rely on, national accounts and things like that. But once those are running dry, what am I going to next? So
Right. Well, one thing you said is that you're looking at freelancers on Fiverr. All I have to say about that is if you're going to
Gotta be
do that,
careful.
do your due diligence because there's a lot of scammers on there. There's a lot of guys who are doing what we call black hat tactics in SEO, which are pretty much um, spammy tactics that don't work at all. And if Google catches,
It actually hurts your credibility.
yeah, it hurts.
I love Fiverr. I've easily spent 20K on Fiverr. To back you up, man, I would not spend $1 hiring someone to do marketing on Fiverr. You're not going to get marketing for $50. So yeah, any kind of, you don't want someone that you don't trust to do any kind of marketing. If you do Facebook ads and they do some shit and you get banned, your business will never, ever, ever be able to run Facebook ads again. If they fuck up your Google ads, same stuff. If they do some funny stuff with the SEO, right? Like the black hat stuff, like they do some crazy strategies where they put you, maybe we can talk about this someday. It's
You'll
interesting.
get they'll delist you from Google, and it's a whole process. It's gonna
Yeah.
cost you time and money to get back up there. Now there are some legit people
well,
on there, but you have to do your research thoroughly because There's a lot of scammers.
I still wouldn't get it. I still wouldn't get it from someone. You just have to be very careful about, because they might be legit, but if you have one person who is in, like, let's say 20 Facebook ad accounts, and one of those ad accounts happen to run an ad
Oh yeah.
that is against Facebook policies, and it gets banned, and the person for whatever reason gets caught in it, and he's in your ad account, guess who is also going down with it? And
Right.
yeah, I would be very careful. I would only hire someone in the U. If you don't have the money to hire someone, then just don't. Like, it might not be the time for you to be doing that stuff. You might want to just do some on your own, and then when you're ready to scale, hire someone else, or save up, or if you do have the money, then you just got to take a haircut.
Well, so that's my thing is that you know, no offense to anyone that does this business, you know, for um a living or whatnot, but you know, everyone I go to, they're talking, you know, they want me to spend anywhere close to, you know, 3,000 to 7,000, you know, a month, either on paid to click ads or, you know, uh, they want to start setting up SEOs and, you know, and all this other stuff. They'll do back things. And I'm just like, but where is my ROI immediately? Like, I can't just, you know, invest tens of thousands of dollars and then just wait for a phone call. You know, like, it's got to be a smart, you know, investment, and I can see, you know, my return investment. You know, me just putting paid to click ads, it seems like for me, you know, because I did that once before, and I spent like $1,500 doing Google click ads, pay to click ads, and you know, I didn't get not one call. So, you know, I have looked into doing it myself. Like you said, it's a little bit outside of my expertise. But I also don't see the value in spending that type of money for the experts, I should say.
That's a great question for Demetrius. I think he has a lot of experience with those situations.
I would actually, you know, no offense, Cody. So this is all like an open space where we all talk. But,
Sure.
you know, from to give you the perspective of the marketer and the agency, that happens a lot. And I think the client also needs to have the right mindset. You know, if we had and I don't even take clients, so I'm like a middleman in this crap. I used to have, don't anymore. I don't want it. But, you know, if a client comes to me and they're like, hey, I want to spend, you know, $1,000 or $3,000, and I want to make an immediate ROI tomorrow, that is not the right mindset, because there's a lot that goes into the business. And a lot of the experts, you know, if you hire someone and they're not able to generate leads, you know, that might speak to their how good they are. But there's you know, I would say you have to have the mindset. Like, you do have to have some kind of a patience. You know, I don't know what the numbers are, but 3K is a, you know, decent sized budget. You might be able to start with a little less. But a lot of the times, like, some guys, like, they need to also charge you for obviously their time.
Yeah.
But I don't think, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think that, you know, yes, you're looking to run ads to generate leads, to make money. I don't think it's the right mindset to just expect it to come right away. You know, I think you have to give it some time, and you have to, at the end of the day, marketing is a tax write-off. So you can always, quote unquote, get your money back. Obviously it sucks to lose money, but that I've spent 50K this year in ads. Not all of it has been profitable. I'm running like 6 ad campaigns right now, and 5 of them are losing money. But I'm testing stuff, because if I do find something, I find a new way to make money. And that's just the nature of the game. Like, you have to put your business out there, and, you know, running PPC ads and Facebook ads is one way. Same thing with SEO. You're not gonna rank #1 tomorrow, even if you drop 50K. It will take some time. So those are my 2 cents on that. Kind of like playing devil's advocate for the agency owners.
Yeah, you got to also consider when you do pay an expert, you are paying for their expertise, their education, and their knowledge on the service that they're providing. So, you know, if you're doing it yourself, there's like an 80% chance that you're going to mess up. That's with anybody that's starting something for the first time. You're going to mess up. There's a high chance that you're going to mess up. When you hire somebody to do the work for you, depending on how good they are, your chances drop virtually to either it's a 50% chance, or there's literally like a 20% chance that something might go wrong. So you are paying for the service, you're paying for the support and having somebody that's there by your side that you can talk to. Somebody on Fiverr that lives in Pakistan, if you want to talk to him right now, you're not going to hear from him. He's probably sleeping, and it's mostly transactional. Once they do what you ask them to do, they're gone, and then you have to hire them again to do whatever else they want to do. So I guess you just have to look at it from the point of view of value, like time investment and expertise, um, and obviously the service quality. What's the type? What are they offering you? Are they offering open communication? Are they willing to sit with you and try different angles, test different things until what you need, you know, comes about? So you have to look at that. You're investing into a professional, and then you're also investing into your ad spend. So like Carlos said, with $1,000, you could get started and start seeing results, make a return on investment, and then you can double it the next month. That's essentially what we want our clients, to do, is to be able to double their budget, to double their results and whatnot. So
Yeah, well, that's in a pretty world. In a pretty world,
in
it
a
doesn't.
pretty world,
Yeah, it doesn't always work that way. So you got to give the client also their thing. Like sometimes it does suck to just lose money. Like it does suck.
sometimes you lose money before you make money. That's kind of the nature of business.
I've never been afraid to lose money. I've never been afraid to spend money. I've lost a lot of money that way that I shouldn't have. I've changed. Like now I'm a lot more cautious on, I don't blow money, but it's never hurt me to spend $100 on ads and I don't see anything come back from it. It's
But
never.
I wouldn't say that that's something that would affect me. What's affecting me or would be troublesome for me to move forward with that is saying, okay, over the next 6 months, I'm going to pay in total, $25,000 to this person, and at the end of that 6 months, I haven't generated not one lead. Now, what do I do? Do I continue going with this the next 6 months to see if this person is going to make me my money back? Or do I just have to fold my hand now and say, "Oh, I lost 25K. Whatever he did, he did." Does that
I
make
mean,
sense?
yeah, no. Yeah,
No,
bro, for 25K, they better be generating leads. I mean, yeah, it doesn't even matter. Like Demetrius, even if they're a lawyer in personal injury, like if you drop 20 G's, you have to be able to generate some kind of
I
results.
mean, you can get results for personal injury with $500 a month. So
You think
And
so?
then,
yeah.
You think so?
What do you mean? I can
Well,
show you.
you just
I'll
get
show you,
you just
man.
get bro, you just get one click. I mean, what do you do? You go to the client's house, you give him a massage, you do everything to try to get the case from that one click. I think it depends.
It
Like, all right,
works. Yeah, I mean, it just depends.
it
I mean, it depends. Like, not all lawyer services or attorney services are the same.
true.
Personal injury might be very, popular and hot, but, about lost value attorneys or insurance claim attorneys where cost per clicks are $1 and $2. Those are very, very profitable, but it's just, depends on the industry. On everyone goes for the personal injury attorneys, and that's where you have a conversation with the client and say to the lawyer, you're like, hey, listen, we can run this highly expensive, highly competitive industry, or we can pivot a little bit and see areas that are possibly more profitable for you. And when it comes down to spending the money on Google, that's the thing. Like, about 80% of accounts. I mean, 80% of the accounts that I work in have had either burned by old agencies, or they've had wasted money, wasted ad spend, and it just comes down to basic account management,
Yeah.
account structure, them using smart bidding campaigns, maximize conversions. Their conversion values aren't set correctly. You know, the account is not targeting the keywords correctly. There's no negative. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So it's essentially, when you, even if you do have all the right things, it really comes down to, again, you know, the business practices. Is there someone who's answering the phone that has experience with answering the phone and it can get the lead into a sale? And what's the back end like? What's the management like? So yeah, I mean, marketing is definitely really tough. It's not, it's walk in a park, and it's not like a easy pill that you just take and you solve. And it works a lot better if you already have something that's working. Or it helps you understand what you need to do correctly. It's also like a valuable lesson that you learn. So, you know, if you do spend money on advertising, it's not just lost, you know,
Yeah.
that you get a
Well,
lot of with it.
my other thing is that with my advertising, with my business, and sorry to gear towards mine only, but for example, you know, when a water leak happens, it's let's just say a busted pipe, right? They're gonna get a plumber, maybe, but more than likely they get a plumber, unless you got someone that knows how to turn the water off, right? Then they're gonna turn the water off. Now that they don't need a plumber right away. So let's just say they called me, right? Now, how is a pay-to-click ad going to help my business in that scenario? They're not going to go immediately on the internet and, you know, start looking around for. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't see how the advertising of the clicks or on paid to clicks, because more than likely when they see that click, they're not having that experience that they need me at that time. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, PPC is not only just for emergency, you know, reasons. You know, obviously you have like the plumbers, you've got, you know, locksmiths, you've got towing companies, you've got, you know, local first aid, like stuff like that. Obviously is, you know, you're competing to be on the first position, but PPC is used for any type of intent, any type of intent. You know, restaurants, bars, martial arts studios, gyms. In your situation, you know, water damage repair. You know, if someone's looking for water damage repair specialist near me, that's a very high intent keyword. So again, you're showing your ad to what you see as your customer. If you don't see your customer searching for your business on Google, then maybe, yeah, PPC might not be a viable strategy. Obviously, there needs to be search volume and everything, but it also depends on what's the cost per clicks like, the average monthly searches. And again, I mean, sometimes people communicate with search engines differently than what you as a business owner might think. Like, for example, me, I run PPC. If I run ads for PPC agency, a lot of my potential customers might not even know what PPC means or what it is. You know, they might just look up, like, they might think PPC is SEO, funny enough, and a lot of clients do. So they might go to Google and search in SEO services. You know, and in your example, if you have like water damage repair, they might be communicating with the search engine in a different way. You know, repair rotted wood, or, you know, basement is flooded, or, you know, just, you know, they could
Sure.
have symptom based, you know, cause based, different types of ways you can communicate. So, you know, it all comes down to, again, is it profitable? What are the cost per clicks like? Is there search volume? And is the message that you're portraying the same as the intent that they're searching for? Like, so the landing page.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I would say, the way to think about it, you know, from a top level standpoint, is there's a pool of fish out there, and you have a small bar and you're going fishing. Now you throw the line your line is whatever your ad is, right? It could be water restoration expert, it could be plumber expert, whatever, that's the fishing line. You throw that out into the lake. You might pick up a bass, and let's say that's a customer who is immediately in need of someone to come to their house because a pipe burst. But that same ad could also get you, I don't know, I don't know another name of a fish, like a jack or something. And that other customer might need more of someone to come and certify the house because they're trying to sell it or something, and the same ad could have given you those two people. Now, the main thing at first is if you throw the line, is there fish in the water? Okay, and then do I get a bite? Because you might not get the fish to hook on because maybe your ad is not great, or maybe the fishing line is great, but the landing page, the website is not. And it's not the fault of the PPC expert. He drove you the click, but your website sucks and it didn't generate the result that you wanted. If there's not a clear form or something, a clear way for people to become a lead, then obviously the PPC expert will never deliver a lead to you.
Yeah, I mean, I rarely run. I mean, I tell them, I say, hey, your website's not meant, like, you're just gonna be wasting money if you spend money on ads. We got to get the website, has to have this, it has to have this to be at least optimized in Google's eyes, because Google does give you a discount based on the relevance of the website. If it has all the aspects of a high converting landing page and website, then if you do SEO, you've been in business for a while, then yeah, you actually get a discount on the cost per clicks and just a better impression share overall. So yeah, I mean, for sure, if you don't have the website, I don't run ads to bad websites. So, and you'd be surprised, there's a lot of bad websites for big franchises too.
And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier during the call. You need social proof, man. If you don't, that's one of the biggest things, man. I've noticed if you don't have social proof on your website, people are just gonna think you're a scam and they're just gonna walk away. So having an actual human, like a picture, it could be a video of you talking directly to your ideal target audience, testimonials from a happy client. Like, people buy from people. That's what I always tell business owners. Like, people are going to buy into you, not your business. So they need to see who's the guy that's gonna come to my house and fix, my water damage. So that's a huge
Maybe
element.
Cody is a good person to do the audit on a upcoming workshop.
I'd be
Yeah,
glad to be a participant of that.
yeah, that would be a good thing. But yeah, man, I would say, just to kind of wrap up, all of us here have some kind of one, different kind of fishing, but I think all business owners need to be fishing. If you tried it in the past and you didn't get any results, bro, in the industry that you're in, there's competitors of yours that are definitely having results. There's people searching for water restoration. There's people searching for those kinds of services. Like there's millions of homeowners. People need what you do. So if it didn't work, it's because of a technicality. It was because either the guy didn't know what he was doing or your lead process was not good. Whoever you end up hiring or yourself need to look into why. But if you go fishing, like if you are someone that loves fishing and you go to a pond one day and you don't get any fish, that you shouldn't give up the hobby entirely, because you might just go to the freaking ocean on a charter and get all the fish that you wanted. So, I think it's just a matter of having a budget, something that you're comfortable with, something that you can spend, and just be willing to spend that on a monthly basis, whether you get results or not. Obviously you want to get results. And I get it. Like if you're spending $3,000 a month, like that's not joke money. That is, on a 6 month to a year timeline, that is a significant amount of money. But maybe not 3K, but maybe you need at least personally, spend $500 a month just to kind of see or play around or learn something. And I think you need to be fishing. I think every business owner should be running some kind of an ad. I mean, there's just you can't compete with it. Like you can't compete with putting your business out there. Like it doesn't matter if someone has the best word of mouth marketing, you will never beat someone that has a profitable ad or SEO strategy and they have the way and the tools that if it's only a matter of money, like the more money they can spend on their business, the more money they make. It's like, for example, I'm running ads right now for event tickets, and it's actually, thank God, profitable. So I spend $20 to get someone to spend 30. So I actually make $10. I don't care about making that money because all I want is people at my events because they might become members. But
Right.
literally, with that same thing, if I were to drop $100,000, I would make what, like 100K. I would get 200K back. And like I don't know what the numbers would be, but I would make money. Instead of making $10 on one ticket, I would sell a gazillion tickets and I would make a shit ton of money. Obviously, my business cannot support that. We don't have an event that big. I don't have 100 grand to just drop tomorrow, and it wouldn't even work. Like it doesn't work like that. But that's the idea. Like I have a way that I can over time increase. Maybe right now I'm trying to sell 30 tickets. Maybe on the next event I try to sell 50. And then maybe I put a little bit more money and a little bit more money. Next thing you see, I'm in 50 cities, and 10 years from now, I'm selling thousands of tickets. So I
Also,
think
man,
Right.
like PPC is also really good at like long-term consistency or economic stability per se, because there's a ton of businesses that are like, let's spend 2K a month and that's all I want to spend. I want to generate 40 calls a month. I want to make 20K. I want to spend 2K. I'm going to make 20K every single month. I don't want to grow. I don't want to spend more money, but they just want to at least have that consistency every single month. And Google's really, really good at doing that. Once you get the account rolling, it knows these customers. You can get the customers and optimize the account to get them at a cheaper cost per lead. You have just so much control over where you want it to go. So if you have the ability to scale it, you have the ability to just keep it and maintain it to where it is I mean, we have campaigns that are literally running for years, like 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, and they're still consistently generating calls, consistently generating revenue for the business. They don't want to scale it, and that's fine. They just have this budget. They're happy with their 20K, their third, whatever, how much they're making per month. And they just have that machine just running in the background. But again, that's no hit for Facebook. I don't think Facebook has that capability. Carlos.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
All right, I do have to go, guys, but we'll see what's in store for the future. Cody, you can always go on Discord, ask any one of us some questions or see how we can help. But yeah, I'm good, guys. Thank you so much.
yeah, man. If anyone has any questions, you can just
At this point, it's just the four of us. There's only four of us.
absolutely. Well,
I don't think Thomas is
anyone.
even there, man.
Yeah, he's probably somewhere else.
So
But yeah, we had a good turnout. We had like 20 something people at one point, so that was good.
cool.
Awesome, guys.
Line's always open, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Saturday.
Thank you.
Right.
You as well.
All right, bye-bye.
Guys, peace.
Peace.